Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Tuesday, August 5th, 2014. I'm beginning today with something from Koala Pele's blog. It's just easier to read from here than from Benjamin Fulford's blog. This is a comment that David Wilcock made on Benjamin Fulford's blog. And it's very interesting. I'm not absolutely sure that I am buying this. He said that the cabal has been systematically draining the planet of financial resources in order to fight an alien war. I'm not, something about this just does not sit all that well with me. This feels like an excuse. I really believe that David Wilcock has good intentions, but we really don't know where these people get their information from. We don't know who their sources are. And Don and I, in just talking about this whole, taking the alien involvement this far, seems like it could make us vulnerable when the old control system falls, to being swept into a new control system with aliens or alleged aliens at the top that we owe them because they helped us. I don't know. I just had caution lights here about this, and I'd like to watch the TV program that may be released today. I'm not sure. That there was a Russian TV program featuring Benjamin Fulford and David Wilcock. And David Wilcock, as I've said, has done some tremendous work putting together the article on financial tyranny, and in many respects, I think that he has put really good information out there. But again, this idea that the cabal has been sucking our resources so they could fight an alien war, I don't know. That might be too neat of a package. It could leave the door open for them getting off the hook for not having to have justice done because of some of the evil that they've done to us. And I'm not saying I want them punished, but I'd like to see them completely isolated from any of us so that they can't continue their influence on any level. So I wanted to address that. Also, Keenan has put out a new blog, Backdoor Man, and he has written here about people who are trying to steal the gold, the resources. And it's always interesting to hear from Neil Keenan. And for some reason, in the last few days, I have really kind of had this drive to look back and understand some of what has led up to the place that we are in now. And this is Judicial Watch blog Corruption Chronicles. Documents detail roadmap of over 200 conflict of interest rulings that led to $48 million in income for Clinton entities. It's important for us to know what these people have done, and not just the Clintons, but we can learn their MO from reading this kind of information. And we also accumulate this body of evidence of what the cabal has actually done and how they have actually harmed America, the world, how the extent of their lies, deception, corruption. It's important for us to know that for ourselves. It's also important to know that, so that when the change does come about, we can people understand what is going on. And I have more information here. A lot of this information is in the videos that I mentioned, Changes on the Horizon. Honestly, I've almost been obsessed with this kind of information. Changes on the Horizon, I guess, was a hook for me. And I feel kind of an imperative to learn this, to know this, to have this information at my fingertips, at least if I don't have it all memorized. But this is, this story started with just real people, with farmers who were having their land taken away. And it's when it often is presented as this complex, because it has become complex in some ways. It's this almost ethereal, esoteric thing. NESARA, what is NESARA? It started out with farmers who were being abused by the banks, who were being unjustly treated, and were smart enough to realize it, and were able at that time to find attorneys who were smart enough and had enough integrity to want to pursue this with them, and some military guys who had enough integrity and understanding and wanted to pursue this. And my deep hope is that there are still military guys, the elected people, because of blackmail, and even the judges to some extent, although the judges have been making some interesting rulings lately, as I've mentioned in the last couple of weeks. But the elected people are so vulnerable to being blackmailed. And one thing David Wilcock said in when he was on Coast to Coast, which I absolutely agree with, is that the NSA has been using the information, the data that they've gleaned, in order to provide for blackmailing people who are elected office holders. And the pressure of the people on them, hey, we're not going to reelect you if you don't clean up your act, is balanced, it's tempered by the threat of, if they do clean up their act, these secrets will be released that the NSA holds, and they'll be ruined. So they're kind of between a rock and a hard place, and I'm not justifying their behavior. I'm just explaining why we're in a place where it's difficult for change to come through elected office holders, and even through elections, because we know that elections are so easy to manipulate. So in all of this, the person who has the authority to arrest treasonous office holders is the Provost Marshal. And I was looking up information. Okay, who is this Provost Marshal? And I remember this from when it happened, this shooting last September, the Navy Yard shooting. And now I think some of the dust has settled about that. And the Provost, this was, the office of the Provost is here where this Navy Yard shooting was. And it seems that for the change to happen lawfully, the Provost Marshal needs to arrest treasonous office holders. And that is a distinct possibility. And we hear that, I'm sure you've heard and read that, yeah, this is going to happen. Well, when? We all want to know when. That's my question. I think that being in prayer for this is important, and crying out to God for justice. And, when justice comes from God, Let's not laud the aliens unless they are his ambassadors. I mean, God does definitely use people and circumstances to help us sometimes, and that's not outside the realm of possibility. But what our hearts need to be turned to the Lord in order for us to have a hope of a bright future, and not turned to anything else that shows up and expects to be worshipped. So that's the heavy portion, although this is pretty disturbing too. From InfoWars, agri-terrorism feds shut down seed library in Pennsylvania. War on self-sufficiency intensifies. I have some good news to temper that with, though. From Natural News, small family farmer fights back against overreaching government, forcing her off her land. And she has won in this struggle. And that is great news. And here's some mildly good news, but I found this kind of amusing. Sherrie Questioning All yesterday had an article, Truth of Smoking and Tobacco Benefits. Tobacco treats Ebola, has many medicinal properties and good health properties. Now, this is not cigarettes as commercial cigarettes, as she has made very clear. Commercial cigarettes contain over 3,000 additives, with many of those being carcinogenic. Smoking store-bought cigarettes will cause someone to have cancer. But this article is all about the health benefits of tobacco. So glean what you can from this, and I really find it amusing because the Woody Allen movie Sleeper, and I know a lot of people don't like Woody Allen because of his personal life. Some of his movies are funny. I can't help laughing at movies like Sleeper. And one of the jokes in Sleeper was that the people in the future are all eating red meat and smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol because they've been proven to be good for you. And, that is kind of happening, isn't it? The things that in the 60s we were told that we should be afraid of, the 60s and the 70s, this will kill you. It turns out in many instances they really were things that were good for us, and somehow the communication broke down and the powers that be were telling us that things that were good for us were bad for us. Imagine that. Would they lie? Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty by enforcing the Bill of Rights.